Welcome back to Bull Sessions here on 680 KFEQ. You can email your questions or comments to bull@willcross.net. Once again, here's Randy Baker and agronomist Brad Law.
Welcome back to Bull Sessions. We're back on the air, bringing on Kevin Bradley, Missouri University weed scientist. Kevin's a big deal. He's been in the business a long time.
Well, I know when I go down to the university for the crop update and get some CEUs for my CCA, whenever Kevin talks, the room is packed.
I know.
I mean, that's the when you see Kevin Bradley's name on the line out, you circle that one to attend. And I'm glad that he's given some time to come on our show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because we like clean soybean fields. You know, that makes it easy. When I'm sitting in the seat of the combine, it's a lot easier to run clean soybeans.
Sure it is.
And we're going to ask him some questions and stuff. And he is just awesome.
He's awesome.
And just remember, if you don't catch everything, we'll be putting these on YouTube. So you can check us out on our Will Cross Bull Sessions. And check us out also on Facebook at Will Cross Bull Sessions.
It's all good.
So let's see if we can't get Kevin on here.
Let's bring him on. Kevin, are you there?
Yes. Hey.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for being on. I know you're a busy guy, teaching and all the research work you do. I've read articles you've wrote in magazines. You're a big deal to us, Kevin. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't know about any about that. Y'all are making me sound pretty good. But,
you are good. Trust us. We know.
Thanks for having me on. I've been here at the university almost 14 years.
Really?
In this position, and I tell you, it's a joy most days anyway, and I love doing it, and I'm fortunate to do it.
Oh yeah,
it's a blessing.
Yes. I've had some of your classes before over the years, come down through the summer, and I have met you. I don't know that, I'm sure you won't remember me because I'm a little guy. You're a big guy. So, we just, our show here, what we do, Kevin, is we're trying to put this agricultural puzzle together with pieces all the time. I think we've come to the best to ask about weed control because spring's coming, and we, things we need to do to get this weed problem under control. So
you bet. Yeah, sure.
All right. Do you want to ask him your burning question, Randy,
I
first?
do got a burning question. A good friend of mine, Al Cameron, we go to church together every Sunday, and he asked me again, Johnsongrass is his nemesis, and he's tried everything, he studies, and he's still trying to get rid of it. So you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't get, it's interesting to hear. I don't get many Johnsongrass questions anymore. But one of the things where we used to go wrong in Johnsongrass, and I guess still do, but Roundup Ready corn and mostly Roundup Ready soybean really did change the whole direction of where Johnsongrass was headed as a weed. Because it started really making a difference. But, one of the things we were even doing wrong then was we spray Johnsongrass typically during the season, which, we have to, but that's not the best stage for getting a herbicide in and actually killing the rhizomes of Johnsongrass. And that's the part that, it's probably why he sees it year in and year out, is because he might just be burning it back, and it's just going to come back every year from those underground roots, those big, thick, fleshy white things, and those are called rhizomes. But, you get into late September, October, and you can put a Roundup on at that time, or you can put on any of the post-grass herbicides like Select or Peacelate or Shore, and that's actually a much better time for Johnsongrass. But really, he should be seeing success with, or at least he should be satisfied at least with Roundup in crop. If he's not, I'd probably want to know about his history and things like that, because there are a few resistant Johnsongrass populations around.
Okay.
Not in Missouri that I know of yet, but there are some in some other states. So it's possible, especially if he's been hitting it with Roundup for a couple of years. But usually it boils down to a timing. Long story short is he can do pretty good during the season just to keep it from kind of rearing its head. But we really, really start to reduce populations of Johnsongrass is in that later fall time frame.
Really? Okay. It's in some of the Missouri River bottoms over here south of St. Joseph. So, and some of the neighbors around, they've got that problem too. So, of course, there's been flooding and so forth as that. So, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to bring that up again because it is a old.
It's not something
grass.
you hear, like for me,
Yeah.
it's not something you hear. And, it kind of leads us into our next weed. And this next weed, I mean, I've had countless questions on it, and I know you're sick of talking about it, but you kind of beat that same broken record with tall water hemp and pigweeds. You can say the same things over and over, but the guys aren't some until they learn that lesson and have that train wreck field. Like I know you've used a train wreck picture in several slides that sticks out in my mind. What is, the, go through the cliff noted version of weed control for tall water hemp and soybeans.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're,
Never heard of water hemp, have you?
It's our number one weed. And so, I don't get sick of talking about it really. I say that I do, but it's just the one I talk about the most. And sometimes I get tired of hearing myself. But I would say, where we are in most Missouri fields, or where we need to be, is we need to start clean, however that's going to be, with burn down if you're no-till or conventional, and as close to planting as you can. And that's going to be different depending on what kind of system you're in. But as close to planting as you can. We need to put on a pre-emergence herbicide at a full use rate according to the label. And mostly in Missouri, it's going to be an Authority or a Valor product or Fierce. Those pretty much dominate. I mean, it's nothing against all the others. I'm just saying those
usually
are the ones that tend to get used the most. And then, after that, it kind of depends on what your system is and what you're trying to do. For example, in Liberty Link soybeans, you're going to come back and you can apply Liberty, and so far that still works. And while we would still like to see another residual with your Liberty, some people do it and some people don't. With Roundup Ready only soybean, more and more of our fields, when you come back post-emergence with Roundup, well, that really doesn't do anything to water hemp. So, mostly the approach is we've got to have a tank mix in there with Roundup. And again, we really like to put on a second residual if, the economics of your system, and if you're willing to do it. We've seen the best results out of that. So, so that second residual over the top is anything like a Dual, a Prefix, a Zidua, Outlook. There's probably 6 or 7 different products. And so what we've seen is that, some years there was a drought, you may not have gotten anything out of that second residual, but it's insurance is basically what it is. And we often get a second flush of pigweed later in the season, and so if there's a residual in the soil, it'll keep that from occurring. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we recommend. The Dicamba, the new trait, the extend trait, and all of that. I think people, we'll just have to see how they want to use it, but I think a lot of people are going to basically use it like a Liberty Link system, in that they're going to apply Dicamba post for the resistant Waterhemp control. But we'll just have to see how that plays out. This will be the first year for it next year.
Right. There's a lot of new technology coming out this year, and it's not all been approved. It's the Dicamba is kind of a state-to-state deal. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, but we have it approved in Missouri. We have two.
I didn't know
now,
that.
As it stands today, we have two approved Dicamba formulations.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. The Dicamba. I'm with you now. Yeah. Dicamba is a big deal, Bradley.
It is, but you know what's a big deal?
What?
We've got, this is all good information. If people want to catch this and say, hey, I only got part of this deal, what was he saying about that Johnsongrass?
Yep.
Go back onto the YouTube and check us out at Will Cross Bull Sessions. Type that into the YouTube, or even go on our Facebook page.
Yep.
And Will Cross Bull Sessions.
After our commercial, when we come back to Bull Sessions on 680 KFEQ.